The senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I have with me today some summer associates from my office, and I ask unanimous consent that the following of my colleagues be granted floor privileges until August 12, 2022. Mr. John Luke Larry, Mr. Maximo Vallobra, Mr. Jacob Greer, Mr. Jace McDonald, and Mr. Matthias Brantley, here in the back.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise today for two reasons. One happy, one not so happy. First, I want to take a moment to recognize a much admired Louisiana journalist. I am referring to Ms. Kim Holden from the wonderful city of New Orleans in my state. Kim has just retired from WVUE, which we sometimes call Fox 8 News in Louisiana, and Ms. Holden has been with Fox 8 News for 34 years. Kim, if I may call her by her first name, is Louisiana through and through. She is what most of us would call a star-spangled professional. Ms. Holden graduated from St. Mary's Dominican High School. I know to some of you that doesn't mean much, but it's an extraordinarily good school in my state. She started out at Tulane University. She wanted to study pre-med, but she realized pretty quickly pre-med wasn't for her. She discovered her love for journalism, Mr. President, and she went to and graduated from Loyola University in New Orleans with a major in communications. She took her first job in 1988 as an intern at WVUE Fox 8, and she never left. Kim's talent and intelligence was quickly recognized at Fox 8. She was hired almost immediately after being an intern as a part-time production assistant. Throughout her 34 years at Fox 8, she has worked as a producer, as a reporter, as a weekend anchor, and as an assistant news director. In 2005, Ms. Holden started anchoring the morning newscast, and she has co-anchored at 5 and 10 o'clock for the last 12 years. It's a very unique thing, as you know, Mr. President, in television to work your entire career in one place, particularly in your hometown. Most journalists move from city to city. Not Kim. She loves New Orleans, and New Orleans loves her back. I've been interviewed any number of times with great admiration for Ms. Holden. Not always with great joy, because Kim's tough. She's tough as a boot as a journalist. She does her job, but she's very, very fair. She is in a world now of agenda journalists who have an agenda of their own. Not Kim Holden. Not Kim Holden. She called the balls and the strikes. I don't even know what party she's in. Don't care what party she's in. She was just a pro. Kim, as I said, has retired, and she's had an extraordinary career. It's just, I mean, when you go back and look at her awards, she's received an Emmy Too much coffee, Mr. President. And 2 Edward R. Murrow Awards for reporting. The Associated Press named her Reporter of the Year twice. Throughout her career at Fox 8 News, Mr. President, Kim has covered everything from the COVID-19 pandemic to hurricanes, including Hurricane Katrina, to the New Orleans Saints winning the Super Bowl. I think her next chapter, Miss Holden's going to spend some quality time. She deserves it with her husband, Bobby, and her 4 children and her 6 grandchildren. So I just wanted to recognize Kim Holden today and to thank her for giving so much to the profession of journalism, and to thank her for giving so much to my state, Louisiana. And I wish her the best in her next chapter. Now, on the less pleasant subject, which I wish I didn't have to talk about, Mr. President. Deeply, profoundly stupid. Deeply, profoundly stupid. That is the only way that I know how to describe one of the worst decisions by an administration that has become famous for bad decisions. I am talking about President Biden's assault on sustainable, affordable energy. The people of Louisiana know, Mr. President, and the people of America know that they're now paying $90 to fill up their cars and tanks with gas because the Biden administration killed the Keystone Pipeline, canceled our offshore oil leases, and forfeited America's energy independence. We were energy independent. The Biden administration forfeited it. What seems to be underappreciated, Mr. President, however, is how President Biden's agenda is driving up the price, not just of oil, but of all kinds of necessities that American and Louisiana families need every day. It's not just about oil and gas, it's about everything. Not only do most goods get to our homes after riding in trucks and planes and cars and ships powered by gas or diesel, but a lot of our plastics and other products, if you think about it, they're also made from petroleum. Actually, only 60% of oil in the world gets used as a fuel. 40% of the global oil supply ends up in other things other than cars and trucks, in products. That means that it doesn't just cost people more to get to and from the store. It means almost everything in the store costs more because of its connection to oil. Some medicines come from oil. Microfiber comes from oil. Mascara comes from oil. Synthetic leather comes from oil. Do you have a phone case or a handbag or a chair or a car made with plastic? That's oil. That's oil. Now, not everything's made from oil. Some goods that you buy are not made from that natural resource. But I bet they're packaged in plastic. And all of these items, all of these household necessities are casualties of President Biden's assault on sustainable energy. Here is a fat fact. Our economy can't run without fossil fuels. Now, I'm not suggesting that fossil fuels should be our only source of energy, Certainly, we should take advantage of the efficiencies we can find in wind. I believe in wind. And solar. I believe in solar. And nuclear. And hydrogen. And hydroelectric. But part of a sensible, sustainable, affordable energy plan has to include fossil fuels. Ours is the greatest economy in all of human history. It can't run without energy. And 80% of our energy today comes from fossil fuels. That is just a fact. The truth is that American ingenuity, and I'm referring to fossil fuels, has made the most out of one of the most versatile resources that the world's ever known. But the Biden White House is determined to punish us for that innovation. It's just determined to punish us by making every single part of the American dream more expensive. Even necessities that aren't directly made from petroleum depend on affordable fuel to reach American families.